First, it's important to understand that the mind has no access to that which perceives the mind. The mind has no access to reality in terms of knowing that which knows it. That which knows the mind has access to the mind. Now, at the same time, the mind is not separate from consciousness. So, given that the mind is not separate from consciousness, it must know consciousness. So it's fascinating that that which is limited cannot know the absolute, and yet that which is limited is made out of the absolute. It's not separate from the absolute. Now, how could we reconcile that? The way we reconcile it is by understanding that mind is not separate. There is no separate mind.
I like this. I mean,
yes, to understand that, you can use the metaphor of waves on the ocean. This wave is 1 meter. This wave is 5 meters. This wave is over there. It has white foam. They seem to be separate waves, but in fact, they're all connected. There is no separate mind. There is no separate wave.
mm-hmm.
Another analogy would be in your night dream. If in your night dream, you're dreaming there are 10 different people. Every person is different. Every person in your dream has a different thoughts, different experience. They come from a different culture. But in fact, these 10 seemingly different people, they are all part of your mind, your dream mind. They're all made out of your dream mind. So in fact, there is no separate mind. Now,
Actually, you were talking about consciousness and mind. And what I'm sensing is some deeper movement is there without needing to know it, but allowing the movement, I would say. Depth which is pumping, I would say, almost.
there is no one to allow or not allow. Movement, whichever way you define it, it is. There is the impression that there is someone that is better off if the experience is different. I prefer no rain today. I don't want it to rain today, or I don't want my boss to give a better job or the better office.
But that's interference from mind.
Yes. So there is a belief that I, whatever that is better off if things were different, which is what we refer to as resistance, ignorance, because when we take a look at this I, we don't find it. We only find the thoughts and the belief, a very powerful belief that I am in danger. And the powerful belief that I would be safer if things were different. So we are trying to protect ourselves because we love ourselves. We are trying to protect ourselves. Like we are trying to protect our children because we love our children. We're trying to protect our family because we love our family. It makes sense to protect yourself. But what is yourself is a good question. I protect my body.
I would say as a child, I would like to ask open questions without knowing it, and nobody was there to have a little sense in what you mirroring, you know?
Yes, because our parents and our ancestors, in their majority, they are in deep ignorance, and they carry on the stories of their ancestors. We are carrying the stories of our ancestors. We are repeating and we are passing to our children our stupid beliefs about life, about ourselves, about happiness. We are not taught as young children about happiness. I was taught to become somebody. My parents wanted me to succeed in life. They wanted me to become somebody because they believed they were somebody, and that was important for them. So I inherited from my parents to be a good, successful somebody. I didn't inherit anything about peace and happiness from my parents. So same for you and your children and your brothers and sisters. We inherit the condition.
Yeah, but I would say I was an exceptional child. I start screaming like if I was feeling these patterns.
I remember your question now. Yes, I remember your question.
Okay.
Thank you. It took a while. So the question is, do we come in this life at different levels? And the answer is yes. Yes, we do. We come with different. First, it's important to understand that we come in life, there is a purity, the purity of awareness, because this is what we are. We are awareness. And some of us are more easily conditioned than others. Somehow there are tendencies. It seems there are tendencies. For example, I have a brother. I have 5 brothers, right? 6 boys. But one of my brothers, yes, good luck, my mother. I pray for my mother. But it worked out. So one of my brothers, he had a pattern of poor me. We say al-mazlum in Arabic. We say al-mazlum. He was always complaining. Oh, yeah. From a very young age. I don't know why, how come, but this was his pattern. You know, another brother I have, he was bully, stubborn, from very young age, stubborn. You know, everything was no, and he would fight everything. So yes, there are from a young age, obviously, tendencies. In my case, as I remember, I was more like a dreamy, sort of, I liked stories and creating stories, and I was more like dreamy type of a character, as far as I remember. Um, and I felt like, uh, like Lynn was saying, I felt like I was in this life, but also not in this life. It was very strange to describe. It was so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think like you would fit among my brothers, as one is more more flaky, more some of us
It's a nice sample. You are almost talking about my family.
yes,
Because
right,
I was
right,
noticing many points like
yes,
that.
yes. I don't know, like at a young age, maybe I don't 12, 13, I don't know. I was just started to ask myself and ask my mother too a question of what's going on, what is this life? What is this? What is this that's going on? And I think I shared before I went to my mother, I asked her, and Mom, what's going on? What is this experience? What is this? And she told me about the Virgin Mary. She was a Christian, so she told me about Virgin Mary, and I realized my mother doesn't know, you see. So it was really quite a shock for me to realize that my mother didn't know what this was about. Because when you're young, you think your parents they know everything, you see.
Mhm.
But yeah, we it is grace, it is out of grace that uh, God knocks on our door and we hear the message, because God knocks on everybody's door. But sometimes the door is very thick, and so we
Yeah.
don't hear. We don't hear. Some
Uh-huh.
cases, the door is a small door, hollow door, and we hear knock, 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 and we open the door. You see, that's beautiful.
Mm.
It's God that's knocking, and it's God that opens the door, and it's God that makes the door a thin door or a thick door.
Mm. Somehow my circumstances, my door was sin, and the circumstances were not that I could have the trust or the love and could not enter that space. And by now I feel me more complete to go on with the journey and say, oh, this is fitting and this is non-fitting, and from
Yes,
different levels, I would say.
yes,
And I like that you share about your family, because it's leveling in the right sense where one is feeling life itself. We don't want to miss it.
yes, yes. There is.
And from the other side, you really put it nicely out. It's not from the mind side, but it's from the outer side.
Yes, yes, right, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Mm.
The light shines onto the mind, and it depends how deep we are in the cave. If we are deep in the cave, then we don't see the light, or it takes a long time to see that little light.
Mhm.
And in some cases, we are not so deep in the cave, and the light comes, and we see the light, and we say, "Oh, this is the direction. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
right direction." Uh,
yeah.
it's all God's doing. You can't explain it really. You can't understand it. You can only be open to it and be grateful for it, and to do your best in living it. And of course, in living it without a personal intention, you are sharing it.
Mhm. Mhm.
You are
Mhm.
sharing it. No personal
Yeah.
intention. By living it, you are sharing it. It shares itself as you
Mm.
are living it. Or, working, exploring, living it. It's
Mhm. Mhm.
exploration.
Mm. It's a very refined line, but we share a beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.